Hi, welcome back. I'm Eric Kane. I'm going to talk today about Warzone and, Warzone 2 or 2.0 and Modern Warfare 2, the next Call of Duty entry for 2022. Look, I even have this fancy mug. That's because I went out to California and I got to meet with Infinity Ward. I got to see several missions from Modern Warfare 2's campaign, or at least parts of those missions. They didn't show the whole thing. Got to see, got some hands-on time with multiplayer, which I'm really not allowed to say anything about, other than I'm excited to play more. I'm excited to play the beta this summer, which should be coming sooner than later. Stay tuned for that. I will hopefully have some beta keys to give away as well to my lovely subscribers. So Modern Warfare 2 is a sequel to Modern Warfare 2019. It's a direct sequel. Captain Price has put together Task Force 141, and that was kind of like at the very end, the very final mission of Modern Warfare 2019. You see the the potential members for this new task force. So, you've got some classic characters like Soap and Ghost, Price, obviously. There's also going to be some new characters. There's going to be Mexican Special Forces involved. This is classic Call of Duty, right? The campaign looks very similar to 2019's, except for I've noticed a few changes from what I've seen. The graphics are definitely a step ahead of what they were in 2019. They're using a modified engine of the 2019 engine, but it's also got some inputs from Sledgehammer and Treyarch, because now, which is interesting, and I don't know how to feel about this yet, but now every Call of Duty game is going to be built using the same engine. So while there will still be differences between Black Ops and Modern Warfare and whatever Sledgehammer comes out with, those differences won't be as drastic as we've seen in the past. Infinity Ward was quick to say they don't want to see a homogenization of the different Call of Duty games, but I'm leaning towards that there will be some homogenization between these games, because if you're all using the same engine, you're not going to see such a stark difference between Modern Warfare 2019 and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. And I have mixed feelings about that, because I like both those games and I really like the fact that they're different. But anyways, they've combined efforts on this one unified Call of Duty engine, and it looks really pretty. I will say it's much more colorful. This game, from what I've seen, is much more colorful than Modern Warfare 2019, which was predominantly browns and grays, both in multiplayer and in the campaign. From what I've seen of both the campaign and multiplayer, there's more colorful. So that's nice. That's a good thing. There's definitely more of a next-gen feel. Water plays a heavy influence in this. That we saw one mission that takes place in Amsterdam, and it's a stealth mission where you're swimming between docks to take out these bad guys with stealth until everything falls apart and the stealth is sort of thrown away. But in this, if someone's shooting at you, you can dive really low into the water and find cover and hide, basically. If you shoot through water, the bullets actually are slowed down so much that like a one-shot kill would be now a four-shot kill. So that's kind of interesting. We saw a mission where the team was moving through sort of a Middle Eastern outpost at night. One of the helicopters, the good guys' helicopters, has crashed, and they're trying to make it there, like Black Hawk Down style. And graphically, this was an interesting level, because you really see that smoke and the light from the crash site just the whole time, and that helicopter blade keeps spinning slower and slower as you move through the mission. And little details like that I think are really cool. It's a graphically very, very, very good looking game from what we saw, and what it was being played on a PlayStation 5. So this is a cross-gen game. This will be on both PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC. And on PC, it won't just be on Battle.net. It will also be on Steam, which is really good news. And so Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 2 will be on Steam. We saw it on the next gen version. I'm curious. They were very upbeat about how well their last gen version is coming along, and said that they have been working on it since the get-go. So it's not an afterthought. But I'm always a little worried once we get into this space. Like, we are a couple years into the next gen, into the current gen, and hopefully this is the last Call of Duty game that is on PS4 and Xbox Series or Xbox One, because I hate to leave people behind, but after 3 or 4 years, you kind of have to start doing that, or else development can be held back, or those versions can be kind of just so subpar that it's sort of pointless. There was another mission that we saw that takes place in Chicago, and it's at night, and so you just see this like brilliantly lit city, and you're scaling down these buildings, and you can scale, go down upside down or right side up, and each way gives you a different advantage. If you're upside down, when you come, like there's all these windows, all the buildings there's windows, right? So you go down this building. If you're upside down, as soon as you get to a room, you can see your targets, but you're upside down, so it's disorienting. If you come right side up, your feet come down first, so your targets might see you before you see them. So it's kind of an interesting little twist on a mission. The mission variety, I mean, I've only seen a few, including one that we can't talk about. It's interesting what's embargoed and what's not. But let's see, and then we saw a vehicular mission where you can change cars and jump from rooftop. It's sort of like some Sleeping Dogs or Uncharted style gameplay. But everything, what I've seen is we're going to get another like classic Call of Duty. One really interesting thing that they really emphasized was that 2019's Call of Duty was kind of unpleasant. There was that scene with the little girl who like stabbed the Russian soldier to death, and there was the scene where you have to go into that townhouse in London and shoot some like women and like civilian women that have guns and stuff. There was a sort of darkness and an edginess to it that they are completely avoiding this time around. They don't want to be edgy. They just want to have a more entertaining game. The world in 2022 versus the world in 2019, certainly very different. We've had a global pandemic. We have the war in Ukraine. And their philosophy around designing this game is to sort of dial back the bombast and the edginess a little bit, and have an exciting adventure, but nothing that's too over the top or too grim. So this is going to be a not only more colorful game, but a little less, I guess edgy, grim, dark, whatever. And I'm good with that. I thought that the townhouse mission in Modern Warfare 2019 was really interesting, but I found that the little girl stabbing a soldier, that was gimmicky and just unpleasant for no reason. So I think this is probably a smart way to go in a world that has gotten a little bit more depressing over the last few years, and to just have more fun with the game. They also introduced us to some of the AI stuff, and they have a whole new system of AI, like motion and animation and behavior, so that if you're being hunted for, enemy soldiers will come and they'll really look around corners and like really be more alert. We'll see how that actually plays out. There will be bots in every mode. That's an interesting new addition. There's going to be bots, obviously, in the campaign because you're playing against bots. But there'll be bots in Warzone 2. There'll be bots in Modern Warfare 2. I don't know how they're going to incorporate that into multiplayer. Maybe fill in matchmaking or maybe it's just going to be in the co-op version, the co-op spec ops type thing that they're going to do, which they did not show us any of that. There was no information on co-op there, just mostly on the campaign and some multiplayer stuff. So bots in every mode, that'll be interesting. They talk a good game about the AI, but I'm always a little skeptical, so we'll see. I think bots worked okay in Titanfall and Titanfall 2. I think they could work okay here, just to give people a few more kills. At the same time, bots generally are so obviously bots and irritatingly it's not necessarily a great addition to the experience. We'll have to see how it's incorporated. I will withhold judgment till I know more. The game will have ground war again for multiplayer. The game will have classic 6v6 stuff. As far as I can tell, the pacing system introduced in Vanguard is not making a return. I haven't heard of any sort of Champion Hill mode. Apparently Gunfight will be coming, but it won't be coming at launch, which is a little bit disappointing, but I'm heartened to hear that it will be coming back because Gunfight is one of my favorite modes. There's a couple new modes as well. There's a prisoner rescue mode and a mode called Knockout, and where you have to grab a ball and kind of run around with it until the timer runs out. Again, I can't talk about my experience with these modes, but I will at a later date. There's a lot going on. Overall, my impressions of the single player campaign from what I saw, I would say are very positive. I know that the single player campaign is not usually as big of a deal as multiplayer, so obviously we're going to have a lot more to talk about once we can talk about multiplayer more. I think it's great that they're going to sort of start with a clean slate for Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 and have this new era of Call of Duty like they're talking about, where you kind of start over with a whole new experience, a whole new big map for Warzone 2, water that you can swim in, hide in. There's a diving mechanic, not just for water, but to dive out of the way. There's some new gadgets and gizmos. There's a tactical camera. There's a grenade that can bore through walls. When it gets to the other side, it pops a grenade into the room. There's new kill streaks. There is a lot of new stuff. But I think you will find it is if you liked Modern Warfare 2019, you are definitely going to see more of what you like in Modern Warfare 2. I am still curious. I still have lots of questions, certainly about the co-op experience, which has been leaked as a sort of escaped from Tarkov mode, where you buy loot and then go in and find loot. You can permanently lose that loot, so it's a little high stakes co-op. We'll see how that's implemented. Again, leaks and rumors are one thing, but actually horse's mouth stuff has not been made available to the press or to anyone else yet, as far as I'm aware. We should learn more in the coming weeks. Pre-orders, of course, will get access to the open beta and early access, I should say, to the open beta. And I will definitely be playing the beta and coming back with my impressions. I had a good time going to Infinity Ward. It was cool. It was a neat experience, and I will have more to say about all of that. But some big takeaways coming to Steam. You don't have to use Battle.net if you don't want to. That is going to be great for anyone who just likes to use Steam more than anything else. I'm one of those people, although these days you really can't get away with that anymore. There are other places you have to use, but I'm always heartened to see more stuff come to Steam. Warzone 2, fresh start for Warzone, more next gen. I haven't actually seen it, but I have seen some of the ground war maps, which are taken from that map. So I have some sense of some portion of this new map, but it will be an entirely new map. Ground War, again, is coming back. So the large team modes with vehicles and helicopters and all that stuff, that's all coming back. And I think Ground War kind of gives players an experience that's similar to Battlefield, but not Battlefield. So I enjoy that, but I still enjoy the 6v6 stuff more, which we're going to have a lot more of that, and eventually Gunfight. The single player campaign picks up where the last campaign ended. So play that one first if you haven't. This one is looking like it's shaping up to be really good. Less unpleasant, more adventure, more fun. An emphasis on heroism, but not bombastic levels of action. We'll see how true that is, since most Call of Duties are pretty over the top. This new phase of Call of Duty, unified Call of Duty engine for all developers. Very, very mixed feelings about this. Again, I think it will make the integration of these games with like Warzone much more streamlined. On the other hand, I kind of wish that Treyarch would just make Blackout its own battle royale, and we could play both. You know, when you feel like playing Warzone in that Modern Warfare feel, you play Modern Warfare and Warzone. When you feel like the Black Ops feel, you play Blackout or Black Ops, whatever the next one is. Colder War. Yeah, the coldest war. Anyways, I'm excited to play more. I will report back with any more details, and be sure to check out my blog at Forbes for all of this written out in prose format. Thanks for watching. Peace.